Welcome to the Creating Confident Content podcast. Hey everyone, let's get real. Content is not going away, and creating content for social media is more important than ever, and there are a lot of moving parts. So I created this podcast to not only share tactical tips, but also the mindset work that needs to get done to create successful content online and offline so that you can grow your business faster and help others. So let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Creating Confident Content podcast, and thank you for joining me. I wanted to do something a little different this time for everyone out there, and that is share each week for the next 5 weeks. I'm going to share one of the 5 tips that is in the new lead magnet. I'm going to call it, it's spade a spade. It's a lead magnet that is on both of my websites. So last week when I podcasted about shifting the title of this podcast, I mentioned the other disconnect was that my lead magnet had nothing to do with creating content. It was just a fun lead magnet that, talked about what you do every day. Do you meditate? Do you this or that or whatever? And if you want that, you can always email me. I'll just send you the PDF. I still love it. There's nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't tying to the content creation niche that I have found myself in, just because I love talking about creating content. And I do a lot of that for myself and also for my husband. So that people don't probably realize, and we'll segue into that a little bit too. But anyhow, so the new lead magnet that, again, is on both websites, melindavanfleet.com and beyondbasicscoaching.com, which houses the Good Karma Success Coach podcast, my other podcast, is about creating content and moving forward so you can build your online business. So it's called Check Out These 5 Tips to Get Moving Fast Toward Success. And again, it's 5 tips, and I was going to go in order, but you know what? I decided not to. And here's why. Because today, actually, I am recording both podcasts for this week, creating content, and also Good Karma Success Coach, because I have a really busy week and I'm leaving at the end of the week to see a friend. So normally I don't batch those 2 on the same day because they're just kind of different wavelengths. And it doesn't really ever call to me to time batch them on the same day. It just doesn't ever feel good. But today I'm feeling good, and I'm doing a ton of content creation today in general. So normally on Mondays, I batch my Tip Tuesday, which is a little video. If you haven't seen that on YouTube, definitely check out my YouTube channel. And I also share that on Facebook and LinkedIn. And then I'm doing this podcast, which I normally also do on Mondays, and my newsletter, which I normally do on Mondays. And I have a lot of batching to do for my husband because we're launching a new course in Good Karma sport fishing that we announced last night during a Facebook Live. And he has a newsletter, and he also needs posting done on Facebook. So just a lot of content creation going on today. So it's really good to batch it when you can. And I'm sure all of you out there have heard about batching. Some of you might do it, and some of you might ignore the suggestion. Here's my straight up advice. Do what feels good to you and makes sense for your calendar. Which segues into tip 2 from the lead magnet, which is focused posting equals success. So I'm going to read exactly what is in the tip sheet. And I highly recommend that if this appeals to you and you wish to get the other tips, just go on to my site. It's in the top banner. It says click here to get the tips. So super easy. And you'll get the PDF that is able to be immediately downloaded onto your computer. And if you're already on my email list, don't worry, it doesn't add you again. How my email is, it just doesn't do that. So don't worry, you're not going to get like 50 emails from me. But if you want this new tip sheet, which I love, 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 and I'm super excited about, definitely just go to melindavanfleet.com or beyondbasicscoaching.com and just click the header. And I'll also put this in the show notes, obviously, too. So I'm just going to read this first, and then I'm going to give some other scoop that was just too much to write, and I didn't want this PDF to be like super long. So here we go. Again, tip 2, focused posting equals success. A lot of experts say to pick a platform and do one until success. It's not bad advice. However, they don't often explain why you should pick one platform. Here are some reasons to help you determine where you fall so you can make some decisions. Overwhelm. Focusing on one platform helps with overcoming overwhelm. It can be easier for someone to be committed and disciplined to social media if you pick one platform to start with and add other platforms after mastering that one. Truth. As you get better, you will get faster. Some platforms are best for when you have the content to sustain the platform. For example, Pinterest requires a lot of consistent content for success. If you start a podcast first or a blog, you have more content ideas, and website links for Pinterest requires several boards, 7s actually recommended, and daily posting of at least 3 to 5 posts. Podcasts are another platform that people often abandon because they do not have the content, bandwidth, or rely on others with interviews. You may choose to wait on starting on some platforms until you have a lot of content you can easily repurpose. So that's the tip. So there's a lot of nuggets obviously loaded into this one page. Overwhelm, which is a reason why so many people don't do a great job with consistent content creation and posting because they're overwhelmed, so they can't handle it and they walk away. So hey, yeah, it's easier just to focus on one platform. Pick your favorite. Don't pick what everyone else is doing, and don't pick what some expert says to do. Pick your favorite. If you love Facebook, go on Facebook. If you love LinkedIn, go on LinkedIn. I see it all the time, and I'm always commending people that have just been like, you know what, I can only handle one platform. LinkedIn's my jam. I'm going to focus on LinkedIn. Go for it. And also true, you have to remember, just with anything you practice, you will get better and you will get faster. It's just simple truth. So with podcasting, it's such a great example. It doesn't take me hardly any time to podcast. It doesn't take me any time to write a blog. What it takes time is the Grammarly. But there's nothing I can do about that. I want to make sure it's like perfect and I have a really good score on Grammarly. If you're a blogger or a writer, you know what I'm talking about. And so that's just a piece of it. But to write, it comes really fast for me now, right? Because I have worked on that muscle. I have fine-tuned that muscle. I can block out all the other noise and just hammer it out and get it done. So hence why I can easily, this morning I did my newsletter and my husband's newsletter in like an hour. The bigger piece is just doing the test sending to make sure that all the fonts are good in that template. But writing is easy. So it gets better, you get faster as you improve with practice and time. And then, Pinterest is, I'm trying to get better on Pinterest. I'll be really honest. So I've taken a course. It's a really great course. It's Jenna Kuchar's Pinterest Lab course. I do highly recommend that course because she's like me. She just cuts to the chase. There's not a lot of fluff. She has tons of tips and she shares her own examples, which I love. I cannot stand it when someone doesn't talk about their own self. They just make it fluffy, but she's great because she gives her own examples and she's obviously done a great job with Pinterest. So I love what she has to say. But yeah, posting 3 to 5 times a day on Pinterest is a lot. It's a lot of work and you do need a lot of content. So keep that in mind when you're evaluating what platforms you want to go on, but have a plan, have intention, understand your why before you start down this path. Like have a little bit of thought process. I had a huge thought process behind why I started with podcasts first. And, then I evolved from there. I didn't start on all these things at one time. So no one should be looking at me and going, oh my gosh, she's so overwhelming. No, I have been very intentional about how I have approached my content creation. And like I mentioned in the beginning of this podcast, I also help my husband. He manages his Instagram. I don't have anything to do with that. And he plays around on Facebook. But I help him with the groups. I help him with his lives. I help him with the newsletter. I help him with the courses, the app, his website. Oh my gosh, all the things. His podcast. I'm the one who taught him how to podcast. So I have a lot of experience in understanding how to create content and then how to move through the process. So trust me, if you are feeling overwhelmed, just break it down. Just break it down. Sit for a while by yourself in a nice quiet space and be like, okay, this is what I can handle. This is what feels good to me. And this is what will help me achieve my goal. Do you just want to share content with people and learn how to speak better like I did? That's how I started with podcasting. I wanted to share, I wanted to serve, and I wanted to do a better job of learning how to be a speaker. I wanted to stop the clicks and the so's and the ums. And you have to practice to do that. That doesn't happen overnight. You have to practice. And I got better at it. Over time, I got better at it. Same thing with Ryan. He had to practice. We both were like very clicky and lots of so's and ums. So that all goes away with practice. And then I evolved, right? Then I evolved. I went to Instagram, then I went to Facebook. I've always kind of been on LinkedIn. It's not my favorite. It's too spammy for me, but I just post and like move on. And now I'm trying to get my Pinterest and YouTube at a respectable place. So you just do it bit by bit because as you get better, you get faster. And I also want to add one more thing that drives me absolutely frickin' bonkers. And that is listening to an expert say that this is the way to do it. And those experts that give that opinion are from a place where they created their business in a blue ocean about 10 years ago. Why am I saying this? Because often that's who's giving this advice. And they're not explaining anything else besides just saying that that's what you should do because that's what they did. And you have to remember that, yes, approximately 10 years ago, and I'm just using that as a baseline, it does vary. I do understand that. A lot of these platforms were not so crowded. Hi, we all know that, right? Now there's 1 million YouTubers. I heard there's 1,000 new YouTube channels going up a day, something crazy like that. It might be a day or a week. Like, it's insane. The amount of podcasts that popped up during COVID, it's nuts. So every platform is extremely busy and extremely crowded. Therefore, it's a red ocean. There's a book about red ocean, blue ocean out there. I never read it, but I understood the context. So I felt like I didn't really need to spend time reading the book. But there is a book out there about red oceans and blue oceans. And a blue ocean just means that, you know what, there's not a lot of competition yet. It's kind of a new idea. So you have more space. When it becomes all bloody and red, and I'm kind of paraphrasing in my own words, because again, I did not read the book. I'm just kind of paraphrasing. And when it's red, yeah, there's more competition. So you might need to get to a place where you are on more platforms because this person might be on Instagram, this person might be on Facebook, this person might read a book, this person might listen to a podcast. So as you learn and grow and evolve, it may call to you and feel good to you to expand your reach because the landscape of all of these platforms is so different now than it was 10 years ago when one person could easily just have a podcast, get some affiliate links and a newsletter and make millions of dollars. Like, it just isn't the same. It just isn't the same. So we have watched it evolve. You know, we've done our fair share of kicking ourselves in the butt going, oh, we should have started this years ago, right? But we didn't. So you can't live in the past. You just have to keep going forward and figure it out. Figure out what works in your schedule, figure out how to not be overwhelmed, figure out how to put a plan together that works for you where you feel good, where your energy is lined up and you're having a fun time creating the content, where it's not a chore. You're not like, oh, I've got to do a podcast today. That is not good, people. Do not be that person. but where you're like, hey, I get to jump on the mic today and share, that is a place of great energy. I have the chills right now as I say this. That is a great place to be in and where you want to be in when you're creating content. So I could go on and on. Again, I don't want this to be a long podcast. It's just supposed to be about tip 2, but that's what came through. So that's what's getting said. And I hope this podcast really helps you on your journey, whether you are just starting out and you've been a little afraid, or you're at a place where, I want to grow. I need to look at adding the next platform and I want to make it easy and fun. I don't want to be stressed out or overwhelmed or have yucky feelings. So what should I do next? If you need more help, if you would love more help, if you would desire to connect, I would love to work with you one-on-one. Please feel free to reach out to me. It's melinda@melindavanfleet.com, or you can schedule a free discovery call. I will put all those links in the show notes. And please check out Beyond Basic. It's a private Facebook group where I have a monthly free masterclass. Besides that, I'm not going to be just posting in the group to post. That doesn't feel good to me. And there's like a zillion Facebook groups out there. So literally it is for the video, and as the group grows over time, if people obviously want to share, have questions, of course it's there for that. But unfortunately, these Facebook groups, it's really the only place that you can do something like this. Back in the spring, I tried to do a Zoom link. It didn't work. It flopped. Booze. So it's really the only place where you can kind of have like a free masterclass training, and then it can just be there for other people to watch the replay, which to me is really important. I like watching replays. So check that out as well. And I've just got lots of good stuff coming. So make sure to get my free tips, the free 5 tips that I've been talking about during this podcast. And again, I'll put that link in the notes as well. So until next week, yay! I hope this podcast helped build your confidence in creating content. Thank you so much for listening.